Hello and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the East End Evil.
And I'm the Gamer in Yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have a very special Monster Stocks episode, brought to you by a listener.
I really thought that was going to go into a brand deal for a second. Brought to you by Kellogg's.
Brought to you by the Tourist Board of Big Lick.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
The Witch of Big Lick. So, yeah, a few months back, we got an email from a listener asking us if we'd be interested in doing a Monster Stocks episode about a local legend from, like, I guess their neck of the woods. And I was like, okay, we'll put it into the schedule because holy shit, like, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody gave us a suggestion for that? Sure. So thank you, Don. This one goes out to you.
And now he's been jump scared.
Yes.
And all other Dons that are listening.
So yeah, we are covering The Witch of Big Lick and going to try and gauge on its viability as a creepypasta monster for future stories and perhaps even like game fodder for like tabletop game scenarios. But I suppose I should start with the actual legend of this entity. So I've constructed a very brief or a brief rundown of the legend. So in the town of Big Lick, North Carolina, near modern-day Oakboro, there is a legend about a witch. Lynn Bird was an elderly woman who lived in her cabin with her daughters and had a fair amount of notoriety and rumor by the locals regarding her wicked ways. According to one account, the witch is said to be a skeletal being with withered skin stretched over her gnarled form and bright green eyes within the sunken sockets, with wispy blonde hair on her scalp. She and her daughters didn't leave the property much, and Lynn specifically would throw stones at children and adults alike who got too close to the property. Cattle would go missing if they wandered cattle would go missing in.
I think the witch's curse is affecting you, honestly.
Clearly, yes. Hang on, is my cream in my coffee curdled? Which is a sign of a witch's hex, by the way.
Oh, is it?
In traditional, like, witchcraft.
I did not know that.
Cattle would go missing if they wandered onto her land, and even get sick and die from grazing too close to it. Neighbors had even reported hearing babies crying occasionally in the home, who would then fall silent. One such account had William Anderson, the husband of Hester, one of the daughters of Lynn, cast out from the home, but worried for his own infant son, Everett. So, one evening, he decided to head up to the cabin and check on the safety of his child, amidst warnings from several friends and local townsfolk. Upon entering the cabin, he was never seen again. Years later, Lynn's daughters left the cabin and never returned, and sometime after that, Lynn was found on her deathbed by several neighbors. These neighbors, Mrs. Hartzell and Mrs. Morgan, even claimed to see a dark thing, some entity appearing from the shadows and pouncing onto Lynn's bed, totally freaking them out. Lynn claimed it was the devil that had come to take her soul. After she passed, these same neighbors would go on to note dark and strange items and accoutrements while cleaning out the house, and even recover items belonging to Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson!
I was thinking it, but I didn't want to say it and ruin your flow.
Belonging to Mr. Anderson just before he had entered the cabin years ago. A black cameo brooch and a newly bought quilt. Those who had moved into the home since or stayed on the property have felt a malicious presence and even heard babies crying, amongst other haunting effects. That's the legend, as told in various iterations, but mostly from a 1950s article in a local Charlotte newspaper about ghosts and mysteries of North Carolina. There may be some grain of truth in this story based on the research, very extensive research, of a blog called Job's Children, who really digs into the family histories of those mentioned in the legend and tries to pull the facts from fiction. And this story may even fall into that age-old case of calling out a witch and ruining a woman's reputation in life because of scapegoating blame for misfortunes or blaming those outside social norms of the time or even mental illness. Finn. Yeah. In a nutshell, that is the Witch of Big Lick. There is not a lot of information. We were presented
There's
by
not
Dawn.
a lot of information. Look at Job's Children.
Okay, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of sources out there like online to like look up the legend. Like we were given two links by Dawn. One was called Reflections, Past, Present, and Future with God, an official blog of author Janice Cole Hopkins. So you can, and that it kind of gives just a very bare bones like summary, or like bare bones like kind of feel for the witch legend. And then we were given a very extensive dissection of the history of the legend and like this person the person who runs Job's Children blog going through census data and like trying to like basically source out like if characters in the legend were real or not, or like and like see what correlated into truth. It's a pretty lengthy read, but we will leave links in the description below for you to check those out if you wish. Other than that, all I could really find were like a few mentions of the Witch of Big Lick on like Facebook pages for like Stanley County or like around Oakboro. So yeah, there's not a whole lot. This is a very localized legend, it seems. But that's kind of segueing into my impressions. So
what about the grammar?
Are you serious?
Did you not expect the Grammar Inquisition?
I did not expect the Grammar Inquisition, but perhaps I will tolerate it.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you okay? I'm not even gonna dignify this with an intro here. Yeah,
No, of course not.
All right, I got nothing. So because I wasn't going to critique blogs for this.
Why
one.
not? It's words on a page.
But I guess Mikey, the E stands for evil, truly stands for evil. What do you have?
All right, so mine is for the jobs section.
The big one. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll ask if Gamer has anything for the small one.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Right, then you can go first.
Okay, I'll do that then. My first thing that I wrote down, as soon as I like copy and pasted like a grammatically something that's wrong, it seems kind of weird to like or wrong to comment on grammar issues from someone who legitimately writes books. But I'm here anyway, so I only got two, honestly, and only one of them is really an issue. Livestock that wandered onto her land disappeared and was never seen again. I feel like it should be were, because livestock are plural, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And the only other thing is just a spacing issue with one of the images. It says, like the second image, the one that has an old woman's face, it's right in the middle of a sentence. Like it breaks it up instead of being at the end of it.
Oh my God!
Funny enough, it cuts right when it says, neighbors said they would hear an infant, insert picture of old woman, crying from her place over the years.
Oh wow!
Almost as if to say they heard an infant, and here's an example.
I don't think this is probably a photo supposed to be of like the witch or like
Yes.
but honestly this could be the neighbor even like it's like
Yeah, who knows?
I'm like just her face is like I'm hearing some infants crying.
I like to think that is the infant crying.
Yes, that's the true horror. These old woman babies.
Yeah, it's a Benjamin Button situation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's all I got for that.
Okay.
So onward to the jobs section. So I have a couple. The Pless family of Gurnan roots were no doubt free Caucasian citizens of Fur Township in Western Stanley. Yeah, so it's just a simple, should be German roots, not
Maybe they're
German.
Gurdons. This is from Shadowfog and Firelight.
No, this isn't though.
You sure though?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All right. And then the next one. And if there should be Andy surplus over and above the payment of debts, expenses, and legacies, that such surplus shall be equally divided and paid over to my son Adam. So my issue there is Andy surplus. It should just be
What about him?
and surplus.
You get a problem with Andy surplus. He
you
runs the surplus store in town where you can
Here's
buy
the
all of your
thing.
goods.
And that whole
Is that-
section is also a huge run-on sentence.
It
But
kind
yeah,
of is.
Also, is that not like quoted from a hundreds year old legal document?
That was a legitimate question. Is it, or is it not?
Yeah, I'm pretty. That sounds like it was from one of the wills of Mr. Pless.
It looks like it is. Yeah.
yeah.
So, and to be like, first off, wow, Mikey, you have truly sunk to like new lows. But also,
Well, here's the thing. It's
No,
not like
hang-
there's a
hang on.
typo. The keys aren't next to the other ones.
no, because it was
probably
written
writing this with a quill.
exactly. But here's the other thing, because like later in this like dissection of like again the genealogy and like the affairs of this family, I believe there was also a mention of like there was like a lawsuit for like from like the daughter and her husband with the father's estate because of the way the will was written. So it's like. And it wasn't even the part that you mentioned. It was like something else, like entirely. But it was like, okay, yeah. I mean, like, no shit that they had that lawsuit. Like, look at like how that will was written.
Yeah, fair.
Mhm.
So, to your credit for pointing out ye old will. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure Mr. Pless is rolling in his grave now as somebody's mocking his speech.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then I have a conjunction junction.
Oh my
fucking
God,
sweet Lord.
did not.
I'm just gonna mute myself and walk away.
I'm really curious how huge it is, though. Take that out of context.
And next stop, Conjunction Junction. Doot, doot.
Its name is derived from the salt licks in the area that drew deer and then became crucial for farmers' cattle. But Sarah was not to be disregarded, at least not by Peter Pless. And she did not die as many infants did in this era of distant doctors and particulate rudimentary medical procedures. It seems most of his older children had been given their share of their father's estate before moving to Arkansas.
I've got to stop you right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Hang on. I've got to stop you. It's Arkansas.
Well, if it's a sauce
it's-
made in
I'm sorry.
Arkansas,
No,
it's
I'm sorry.
Arkansas.
I'm sorry. It's the Arkansas River. I'm sorry. I know it's spelled Arkansas, but it's Arkansas. Get it right. All right. If you're
I
gonna
do
do this,
wonder-
I'm going to grab your Nazism.
That's fair.
How do you know
I do
that's not
wonder-
the old-timey way to say it?
Because shut your face.
I do wonder if there's a sauce company in Arkansas called Arkansas, though. There really should be.
Look it up while he's talking.
I'll do that. I'm absolutely doing that.
All right. Restarting this sentence. It seems most of his older children had been given their share of their father's estate before moving to Arkansas, as several are not mentioned in his will and others passed before he did. So little Sarah inherited $50 from her grandfather, a lot of money in those days. But no grandson James. And it seems entirely likely and probable, by virtue of location and his youthful age, that James A. Cobble was somehow, someway, a member of this family. But the 1830 census suggests another. It's entirely plausible. It adjourned the properties of Jesse Morton and George Teeter. It was proved by the sworn testimony of Irvin Morgan in 1854. It ambles south, crossing Big Lick Road until it makes its way to the Rocky River below Stanfield. So, therefore, when tragedy struck again, another estate file was in order. It's only 3 pages long, but then again, he was a young child. So, it was a good possibility that this little boy was named Peter Nicholas Cobble, and the likelihood that his father, James Allison, was a grandson of David Cobble Sr. It is good gambling odds. And that they descended from old German George Goebel is nearly a certainty. It appears, though single, Jacob may have not been alone. So, how did that happen? It seems sometime between 1867 and 1870, Alinda Pless Cobble, who would have been in her latter 30s, married Charles Bird, who would have been in his later 60s. But in the ragged years of the post-war 1860s and 1870s, husband material was hard to come by. It brings to mind that 1992 movie with Madonna, Body of Evidence, where she portrays a woman accused of killing her aged husband by having sex with him. So, in coming to this conclusion, I had to rely on solid circumstantial evidence. But here's the clincher. Charles had gotten himself in debt. And now, back to Nancy Roberts' rendition of the legend. It states that William B. Anderson was 46 years old, being born about 1831. So, right off the bat, we see in the telling that the part of Bill Anderson being in his early 30s as completely untrue. but neither did he appear in the 1870 census either. But William B. Anderson appears to not have been a member of this clan. So, not knowing exactly who he was before the marriage, who's to say where he may have been afterwards? But Enoch was not the only man in Big Lick who roamed. But old Lynn Bird lived, and she died sometime between 1890 and 1900, and it is unknown where she was laid to rest, on the property or at the Big Lick Cemetery, where many of her descendants, including the children of Hester, rest in peace. But Stanley County citizens had fun at her expense for years to come. But she is found in 1870, where she is living in and working in Mecklenburg County. But Sarah wasn't through. It is clear in the estate records of Hester Cobble that her mother, Melinda Cobble, outlived her. It appears, however, that J.F. Green only handled their legal affairs. It appears they actually lived with Melinda. Finn.
Okay, I got one thing I got to stop or got to bring up that you said. Also, thank you for that shorter, disconjointed version of the blog entry.
Pretty much.
So you're like, it's like, oh, but Linda was like, Lynn Bird was laid to rest, blah, blah, blah. And then you went on and it's like, but she is found in 1870, where she is living in and working in Mecklenburg County. And I'm like, wait,
She
Lynn
resurrected.
Bird? Yeah, like but she was laid to rest. Did she fake her own death? Did she just, was she a witch? Did she just like resurrected? Like Gamer just said?
Mhm. The answer is yes.
I guess, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, for those unaware, Mikey grabs all the sentences through a story that start with words that they probably shouldn't, like its, ends, or buts, strings them together into a story with sometimes hilarious results, basically to highlight that there's always better words to use.
Yeah.
That being said, in this format, I don't know if it matters.
It really didn't. This was more of like this wasn't really a creepypasta we were dissecting. It was more of just like, here's some research on the monster or the entity we're reviewing, not the story. I'm honestly surprised you didn't like start dissecting the articles, like the snippets of the article that were in this blog, or go into the legal document about the lawsuit, which I went through and read. But also with regards to the thing that I said earlier about like Arkansas and like, oh, what if it wasn't called Arkansas back in those days? I actually looked it up, and yeah, Arkansas has always been while it's been spelled Arkansas, it is commonly pronounced Arkansas phonetically. So
Nice. Unless you're the bluegrass band called Arkansas that I looked up. That is actually a thing.
You found the
And
Arkansas.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you're interested, Arkansas gets its name from is derived from early French explorers who adapted the Kappa word from for their tribe, often spelled Akansa or Akansa. The French added a silent S to make the word plural in their language, resulting in the pronunciation that sounded like Arkansas to English speakers.
Pretty neat.
Yeah.
You learned a thing.
Yeah. About a state that this story does not take place in. But people but some people that may have been part of this legend went to.
Yep.
To be honest, that is kind of something like some of the ridiculous deep dive of that blog.
Yeah, a
by
little
Job's
bit.
children.
Yeah.
But I digress.
You do.
And gamer, I
Technically,
assume
he's digressing to me though.
yes.
I only got a couple. There's one where it says, "I believe this to be Betsy, the original conveyor and legend of the witch," but it's spelled WITHCH, so it's just a typo. There's another later on where it says, and now back to Nancy Roberts' rendition of the legend. Meanwhile, it's Roberts. There's just a missing R. And then, like, throughout these entries and comments, Lynn's last name flips between bird and bird, as in BIRD and BYRD.
But there is a historical reason
Yes,
for that.
it does. However, the person writing this, I would assume they would pick one and stick with it.
Yes, stick to one spelling. But
yeah, like I'm not talking about like the old newspaper clippings and stuff like that. The stuff that's in the compilation of all of this, the stuff that is in just plain text. I would assume they would pick one to stick with it, unless they're directly referencing, like in this document where it says BYRD blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but yeah, that which might be where it's coming across. But regardless, that's not really an issue. It's just something that's kind of confusing, but you can't really get around it.
Yep.
I done.
Okay. Wow. All right. On to impressions of the legend, and I suppose this deep dive to a degree. So for me, on the surface of the actual legend of the witch, like, oh, she's like this nefarious witch in a cabin. She throws stones at passerbys, and like cattle go missing or they die from eating the grass near her property and stuff like that. And people hear babies that are then like the baby's cryings are cut short or something like that. So on that kind of a surface, classic witch tale, something straight out of older Americana on the East Coast, like very, very, very Blair Witch kind of stuff, or like the kind of witch mythos or mythology in the or the sort of witch legends that the Blair Witch was inspired by when they were making that film and such. Reading deeper, especially with just that very in-depth historical blog deep dive, it also seems like it's a classic witch trial situation. Like locals experience some kind of hardship or misfortune. They're looking for someone to blame, and they go after a person in the town that either doesn't play by their rules or their social norms, or has already been ostracized or is estranged by the town for their past. Unfortunately, that latter part is also all too familiar whenever you look into witch legends in America. That's elsewhere too. Like, it's not just the Americas. Like the Spanish Inquisition, there's a whole thing of witch hunts and stuff like that in Europe. I'm sure it was happening elsewhere in the world. It's just another case of humans being awful to each other because other people are different. So yeah, like as I was reading the actual like in-depth dissection of the legend and like trying to discern like what facts there were, I couldn't help but kind of get that, like, be reminded of like, oh yeah, a lot of the witch legends that we hear about in North America, while like they can be fun and games, like, oh, there's this evil witch in the woods and she's going to get you, very Hansel and Gretel kind of stuff. There's usually some kind of like traumatic, painful, like inkling there in the back behind the scenes of like, oh, this is probably propaganda by the people who were bullying or tormenting some old woman in the woods.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just wanted to be left alone.
It's as if 90% of people were bullies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what it was like back then.
I would also I might even say that like because like we like to think that we've gotten better, but I don't know if we've gotten truly better.
Compared to back then, are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, yeah, well, sure, like, yeah, we've gotten like, maybe we've gotten more progressive to a degree, but like I still think like there is still like a vocal maybe not even a minority, but like a vocal amount of people that are assholes and like this kind of like ignorant.
There's always going to be assholes, but like the percentage is vastly different compared to back in the 1800s.
I suppose. Hopefully, at the very least, I hope. I'm
Yeah.
more cautiously hopeful than optimistically hopeful.
Because back then you could say that lady's a witch just because like you think that she's ugly, and then half the town believes you, like
Yeah.
just because you say
The
it.
same thing can be said about the internet with like, oh, that person did
Well-
something, and then the rest of the internet just like completely cancels them or chastises them. So,
All right. Here's the thing: we
Like-
don't burn people at the stake anymore.
fair. Fair. we don't do that.
No,
Or stone people to death.
No, we just emotionally break them until they commit suicide,
that's so much
which
better.
is
Really
yeah.
not though.
No,
Really not
it isn't.
better.
It is not.
Fuck.
But yeah, I do get like I do want to hope that we are a little bit better than the people in the 1800s, but
We are
Um,
better, but we are not like it's not an ideal situation like that
Yeah.
we're in yet.
we're
Still,
not
like
we're not perfect.
no.
And
Humans
we,
are going to be humans, or humans are going to be idiots and assholes regardless, just because there's going to be a percentage of people that just are like that.
yeah.
Like people hanging on to like really, really, really old ideals because like their parents and their parents' parents like installed it on them.
Yeah, what is that? Generational trauma or that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like, yeah. Point is human history is just like it's just terrible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we're trying to do better, I think, but we're not
And
perfect.
what's worse too is like there's a lot of stuff in human history that went on that we don't even know about. And it's probably worse than most of the stuff we do know about, you know?
Yep.
Because especially back then, like how much stuff was documented back then? Probably not a lot.
Yeah, or a lot of it was burned if it was documented.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, so this classic witch tale
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
in a place with a funny name, Big Lick.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's kind of weird that this is like the second monster in North America that I'm aware of, or the second entity. I'm not even gonna say monster because like it's a witch, and also may not be entirely. Anyways, according to the legends, like for the legend stuff, it's the second entity that resides in a place that has something lick. Like it is. This story is like this witch is deeply overshadowed by the other cryptid that's out there from Pope Lick, Kentucky.
Mm.
The Pope Lick monster, which is like a goat man. But because like that, like you look up like Pope Lick monster, you'll find a bunch of stuff on that. Sadly, this witch, unfortunately, is not as well known.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's honestly my impressions of like the legend and the even with like the deeper look into like the history of like or like what's fact and what may be fact and what's maybe fiction, because as much research as was done with the blog on Job's Children, even like it, like you kind of have to also take that with a grain of salt, because while yes, there's a bunch of the census data, a lot of it is also like albeit educated, but still like kind of guessing and speculation. So
Yeah.
um
Also, to your point about like Big Lick and Pope Lick, I like that they explained in this why it's called Big Lick, and it makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. That does make me question why Pope Lick is called Pope Lick, though.
we can find that out.
We can. You go ahead and search Pope Lick.
But yeah, like honestly, like yeah, like lick is another thing. Like it's usually because of a natural lick, which is a like usually it's a natural mineral rich salt deposit in the area where like animals gather, usually located around creeks or rivers and such. So
So they had like a deposit of popes there.
well, according to this, the Pope aspect of Pope Lick refers to a surname from a local settler who owned the land around the creek. So the guy was like named something Pope.
Oh, so it's probably Pope's Lick.
Yeah, originally it was probably originally Pope's Lick and then became just Pope Lick.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with like Big Bone Lick.
God,
which
it just
which
gets
is
worse.
which is a place where like they found mammoth bones, but it's also right next to like a lick, which is where again animals like usually congregate because it's a salt rich environment and they apparently animals like eating food like eating salt rich grasses and such. So,
Jeez. Now, next thing you're going to tell me is that there's a town called Dildo.
well, sir, let me tell you about the majestic town of Dildo, Newfoundland,
Oh, really?
right next to Shag Rock. It's,
You're making this up.
I am not.
I know you're not. It sounds like you are, though.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, a lick is called like usually a place called lick, something lick is that because of that. Similarly to why like a lot of places in North America are called something springs because there's usually like a natural like spring well or something like that in the area.
Mhm.
That is the reason why the town popped up. So
Yes.
but yeah, so back to the story. Back
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
right.
legend. Back to this legend of the witch of Big Lick. And apparently the reason why it's called Big Lick might be because like there were smaller licks around, but this was the biggest one.
Yes. It's not that it might be that it straight up says that is why in the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that the creek is called Cucumber Creek.
Is it really?
Like well, it's a phallic. Yeah, literally in the blog, like yeah, like all these properties were like along the Cucumber Creek in Big Lick.
It could have been worse. It could have been eggplant.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, enough immaturity
No.
for now.
Fine.
Do you guys have any like? What are your guys' impressions of the legend and such? Like that was kind of my overview, but I'm curious about you guys.
Yeah, it seems like a very standard witch affair where it's just a regular person that is called a witch via just being different.
Yeah.
And then they make up things so that you stay away from them, so they become loners as well.
Yeah, like they just want to be left alone, so they maybe like, yeah, they or they might even like have something. There's something wrong with them because I'll give you this to you, gamer. You were saying it earlier. We have gotten better in that we have a better understanding of mental illness nowadays, and like some of the things that back in the day that we would equate to like witchcraft or even like the fae and changelings and such were probably the result of people not understanding like certain spectrums and like certain like mental illnesses and stuff that people would have.
Yeah.
And just like they just had that through the filter of like religion and I mean North America's colonial age was definitely a bad time for if you were different.
Yeah. It's easier to just say that dude's possessed.
Exactly. They have the devil. Like I think even like people were like, oh, even if she isn't a witch, she's right next to the devil or something like that. Something along those lines. So yeah, like again, she probably wasn't going to church. She was probably or like she or people like caught on to something about her past. Like again, she was like maybe this was like her second or third marriage, and that shit was a scandal back then.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and she's probably also left-handed and
yep. Mm-hmm.
The worst kind of people.
Yeah, the
Yep.
scum of the earth. Absolute scum of the earth. No. Some of my best friends are left-handed. But
That's actually true in your case.
Yeah, no, it is.
Most people lie when they say things like that.
But yeah, it's kind of you're sort of just like jumping on have the same kind of like impression that I do. I guess it's just like this is just classic witch lore or classic witch tale. Both on the surface and when you dig a little bit deeper.
Yep.
Gamer, do you have anything? Any new insights?
I mean, mine are laid out as notes basically, but so my first note is before I even started. Well, no, I finished it last night. Regardless, my first note is me waking up this morning. I was like it's getting close to the discussion talking about the Witch of Big Lick, and like in bed, I'm like, I feel absolutely fucking sick. Like, I don't want to get out of bed. It's almost like the curse of the witch was like actually on
Oh,
getting
man.
upon me from me getting near the recording of the witch. It was very strange.
Some connective tissues there.
A little bit, and like I don't know how much is going to be edited out, but when you started the recording, there was a lot of flubs happening. The witch didn't want us talking about her.
Yeah. I will probably be editing a lot of that. But yeah, full disclosure, we were having some hiccups, either because we were just excited, like overexcited, or again, witch's hex.
Mhm.
the curse of Big Lick Witch.
Yep. Yeah. My next thing is when I started reading it and like thinking about how we're going to be talking about this as like a creature and all that, it feels a little fucked up thinking about making a creature about a real person who was possibly just discriminated against or antisocial, because like those times were cruel, as you said.
Yeah.
Cruel. I want to make sure I say cruel
Yeah,
and not cool.
I did hear it cool the first time.
There was an R. I didn't pronunciate it properly.
Yeah.
That being said, like there's also a lot of messed up people back then, and like people could and did get away with literal murder a heck of a lot easier than they like back then that compared to now. So for all we know, like Lynn could have just been that, an actual murderer. It's kind of impossible to say because of how far removed it was from now.
Well, you might like some of the ideas I have for like story fodder or game fodder, because I also did not kind of feel very good about like just going into this of like, all right, how can we make this witch a monster?
Yeah.
I definitely like, I also really appreciated the deep, as lengthy as that deep dive is, on Jobs Children's blog. I did really appreciate it going that deep because it gave me a much more like it gave me much more context as to like what was likely going on behind the legend.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if like maybe that's just like my own modern sensibilities, and maybe it is just like it kind of made me more empathetic toward the witch and her daughters than creepy 45, 50-year-old William Anderson who's trying to get his son back from his younger daughter or his younger wife. So I have some ideas.
Is he creepy?
It's a little creepy. Again, it's that thing of like back in the day, like older men were marrying really young women.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like back then,
Yeah.
that was kind of the norm. It's
It
creepy to nowadays.
It's still. I still feel like it's not. It's. I mean, even yes, like nowadays, it's absolutely creepy and like that's just not right. I think even back then, it was still kind of considered like a little fucked up, but it was just tolerated, or it was again, like you said, the commonplace. So like people didn't overly question it.
Yeah, it's like arranged marriages and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
back
exactly.
further.
Back further. That shit's still happening, dude.
Is this still happening?
Yeah. My grandparents were one of my grandparents were technically arranged marriage.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, and even like in the modern day, like I know there are some places in the world that have arranged marriages and such. So
I guess yeah.
So we're not so progressive in the modern day.
Yeah, like I
People
think
are still
India
fun.
has.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna like say names, but yeah, in India and places like that and such. And I'm sure that again they're elsewhere, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I got one more note, specifically about the Jobs Children page, and it's kind of basically what you've said as well to a point. While I appreciate the level of detail and dedication to sourcing out so much information from the past like that, it made it a massive read. Yeah. And for me specifically, someone who's going over this for the purpose of a podcast, a lot of that info wasn't really relevant to the story at hand. So because I was kind of short on time, I found myself jumping past family tree stuff to get to the next article, which worked for a bit. But then, like, I quickly got lost in all the names being thrown at me. So I had to go back and source out who these people were when they showed up. And, like, even, like, adding a Lynn Bird family tree to my notes so I can keep things straight. So, like, in hindsight, I wish I just sat down and read the whole thing from top to bottom. It would have taken me the same amount of time, and I would have been a lot less confused.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's definitely a part because like they're talking about Lynn's like one of Lynn's like first daughters, Sarah, at like the very beginning, and then Sarah just vanishes for like a whole swap because she's not really crucial to the rest of the dissection, and then at the end Sarah's brought back. Like so
Yeah. By the way, who's the second daughter? Because it's Sarah Hess and someone else.
I believe I want to say it was Elizabeth. Let me pull that up.
Elizabeth was her mother, but might also be her daughter as well.
Yeah, like
Not the same
named,
person, same
yeah.
name.
Yeah. Oh my god, the amount of again the amount of census data that this person pulled, like, good on you, but holy shit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, don't bother scouring through it. I was just asking if you knew that off the top of your head.
Yeah, not off the top of my head.
Okay. Then I'm good to go.
Because she wasn't not meaning to disrespect somebody from the past, but like they weren't important to the legend. Hester was.
They weren't relevant to the legend.
Yeah, they weren't relevant. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't a focus.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so is that, I guess that's what we got for impressions, or do you have
Pretty
more?
much, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's dive into like story fodder or game fodder. So, because I've got a couple of ideas based on the story, or based on the legend, and based off of like some of the historical facts of it. So, I think a story that dives into the items that were recovered from Lynn's home that were supposed to be belonging to the missing William Anderson could be interesting, because like the story, like the legend does focus like that he had a black cameo brooch, and he went to like the heart, like the local like dry goods place, and picked up a quilt. And so those are the items that he had on his person when he entered the cabin and went missing. And then years later, after like Lynn had died, after Lynn dies, and the neighbors are going in and like basically cleaning up the house, they find amongst like the weird, what they say they found like witch accoutrement and stuff like that. But they also found like they also found a black cameo brooch and a quilt, and one of the neighbors kept the black cameo brooch, and the other neighbor kept the quilt. And the one neighbor remarked that, oh, these look like the items that that Mr. Anderson had before he went up to the cabin. So, and for anybody who doesn't know, I had to look it up too. A black cameo brooch is basically one of those like little like pendant like brooches that you'd like, I guess, put on your dress and whatnot, and they have like a bust or like a side profile image of a person on them with like a black backdrop. Like usually it's like an ivory, like an ivory carving over on top of like a black like backdrop.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just think it would be interesting if we wanted to make a story in the more of the here and now in the modern day that pulls from this legend. What if like some person is like either gifted this item like from their family, like it's been in their family for a few generations, i.e. like it's the person is either what are the neighbors' names?
I'll tell you, I got a list of names.
I had it. I wrote them down too.
One of them was Dicey Morgan, and I'm pretty sure the other one was
Hartzell.
Yeah, Betsy Hartzell.
Yeah, so this is this person in the modern day like is part of either the Hartzells or the Morgans, and they're gifted either the black cameo brooch, or even like they find the quilt like in their great grandmother's attic or something like that, or they even pick them up at like an antique store in and around like Big Lick or Oakboro.
Oh, they just happened upon something that their ancestors found.
Exactly, yeah, and. But when they pick it up and when they buy it and take it home, then it's revealed that it's actually possessed by some kind of dark or malicious presence, or even like maybe the lost soul of William Anderson. If you want to play it on that, I could also see it being like that. Maybe like the black cameo brooch or the quilt are possessed by the dark entity that came out of the shadows and like visited Lynn on her deathbed.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it was
the brooch is possessed by Lynn, and the blankets, the quilt is possessed by William.
Yeah, exactly. Or like it could be like, again, like going on like a witch's familiar kind of thing, if that is indeed what if you want to go like more on like a witch legend sort of angle, like have it be like, oh, like Lynn was a witch and her familiar was in the brooch or in the quilt. um and so basically you'd have a story where like the new person acquires the item either for as a gift or for a historical collection. Good old fashioned haunting ensues, like, but set in the modern day. So like sprinkle on some dire situations and some strange, like perhaps life threatening interactions with some like malicious entity that is bound to the item, and maybe they can't even like just as easily like destroy the item or get rid of the item. It just keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's got damage
And
resistance on it. You have to hit it hot with a high enough
yeah,
number
exactly.
of damage to actually
You need
hurt
to
it.
find what weakens it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe this actually like resorts to like the person having to like do some research, and then you can add in like sprinkle in some of the possible historical information about the legend and like or about the account of the legend and such. Like, oh, this black brooch came from like the goes and talks to the antique owner, says it belonged to this person, and then like they got it and then like you go talk to somebody, it's like, oh, my great great grandmother said she got it when she was cleaning out the old witch's cabin, and then results in them in the person having to go up to the witch's cabin and maybe confront this thing, confront it there, or maybe that's where it wanted to go, just so it could like finally like get some conclusion,
Yeah.
something along that lines, like find some
So
way
by the
to,
end of it, it's a buddy horror.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could even become a buddy horror. Yeah, like you're trying to like help either the witch's ghost or Anderson's ghost seek like get peace.
Mm-hmm.
So another idea I had, and this is riffing off of the kind of thing that pops up in modern witch stories a lot, and like in multiple media and such. But I really like the idea of it. The story where the ghost of the witch returns in a dreadful way, taking revenge on like the locals in the town and so that they dwelled before. Maybe as after some group of folks, like teens or like some adults and like some festivities or something like that, uh, are holding some kind of big event that is glorifying her the witch's legend, and just using it as like a hokey like tourist thing, which is all too common in a lot of places. Like they use local legend boost tourism. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love going to places with spooky legends, but I do have to I do also like acknowledge that some of that can sometimes be a little disrespectful depending on how it's done.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So this thing happens. The witch's spirit is like basically like pissed off that this is what has become of her legacy, because like she was originally just the spirit of this like prosecuted like woman or person that like wanted to be left alone in the woods and like not be like tormented, but then like she died because of the whole witch legend, and people have just kind of twisted her and turned her into this witch because of the legend. Or you could even have it that it's not just some ghost that's pissed off that people are misinterpreting or disrespecting her legacy. It is actually a spirit. It's not even the spirit of the original person, but it is the spirit of the legend, like some kind of Tolpaic entity manifested from belief in the legend alone.
It's orc magic right there.
Yeah, tulpas are like a whole thing. It's a thought construct, or a thought like a it was a thought project in like the 70s, I think, is where the idea for tulpas came from, or like based off of Buddhist spirituality, about like being able to construct an artificial spirit or like a thought form entity from believing in it enough. And that's like could be what happens here, is like basically this spirit of a witch begins tormenting the town or tormenting some local people, just because there's just enough belief in the spirit of the legend that it has fabricated itself into existence, and is now risen as a result.
Yeah.
And then the other idea I had is this is my last idea, like my last big idea I have. I could see a game scenario, and you could probably do this in a story, but I feel like this would be more of like a good for a game scenario, like set in either Vossen or the Sleepy Hollow tabletop RPG, which gonna do a mini plug here. I jumped onto RPX last year, and we did a roll up for their Patreon about the Sleepy Hollow tabletop RPG, and I'm pretty sure at some point it's going to be going public as well, so you'll be able to check it out without having to go to a paywall. But it's essentially a Vossen-esque kind of game system of supernatural investigating or monster hunting set in the 1800s. In a fictional version of the New England town of Sleepy Hollow, where supernatural threats are manifesting, and like, so you've got that kind of colonial, like America, kind of Puritan sort of vibe going of New England.
Yep.
And you're having to deal with like creepy beasties from myth and folklore of that era. And so, and honestly, any historical horror system I feel would work. Like Call of Cthulhu would work. Even like Fear itself, if you just like toned it down to like instead of the modern day setting, a little bit back a bit, and have it be about a group of townsfolk who are friends with a husband who has been cast away from his wife, either by her or her mother. And either one or both are rumored to be witches. And you are going to try and save the child or the wife from the witch in the cabin. So it's like a story that basically takes the idea of like the husband going up to visit the cabin. Well, you are also like, what if some of his friends that were like trying to dissuade him from going up to the cabin fucking joined him? Because that's a part of the legend. Like a bunch of people, like a handful of people, like told him like wait till like the next day and like we'll go up during the day, and he just like went up alone and it was never seen again. So it's like, what if those people had actually gone with him?
Yeah, you never split the party.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Except you always split the party.
Yeah, honestly.
But and then maybe if you want to like tie this into like make it less simplistic and like, oh, like there's just a big bad witch we got to stop. Maybe have like when you guys get up to the cabin and you're facing off like the situation and such, it is revealed that like the witch is only defending herself and her daughter and granddaughter from an abusive relationship with the husband, who's kind of been keeping that stuff on the down low from the rest of the town. And so
he's been like basically throwing her under the bus.
Because yeah, exactly. Like you're like, oh well, he's clear. Like he's the one that's been starting the rumors of them being a witch, or at least like starting the rumors that they've been harming people as witches when they could be more traditional witches of like they were actually just like they help people with like medicines, like herbal medicines and such, and like kind of forest folk magics. But yeah, have the evil maybe turned on its head. Or like give the players the option of like, well, who is the real bad person here? Like, who should I actually be trusting, kind of thing, and see if that is put into question. And I mean, honestly, the answer here is the players are the monsters, but because players are always the true evil in a scenario. But
this is true.
But yeah, I just think that would be an interesting thing to like to kind of dive into, like have like this classic witch hunt. Essentially, in this time appropriate, in this era appropriate like setting or system, but then maybe if you don't want it to just be like a straightforward witch hunt or monster hunt, like they have to save this guy's child or save his wife as well from her evil mother, or her evil witch mother. Have it be revealed that like the husband's no Prince Charming, as it turns out, he's actually like a villain. So. Maybe like halfway through a combat or halfway through like dealing with witch stuff, you start seeing like the crack, like things like seeping through the cracks of his mask of deception, and then you have to decide whether or not you're siding with the witches or you're siding with this guy that you've known for a while. But yeah, that's some of the ideas that were kind of brought to mind for like for stories or even like some game scenarios that I don't feel are like. I feel like I gave it like a rough gambit of like using like the actual legend, like from surface value or from face value, but also like even diving into like the deeper elements and truths of like a lot of these witch stories, which is they were really just witch legends are really just kind of like propaganda for people who needed somebody to blame.
Yep. There's a reason they call it like a witch hunt nowadays. Just
like
picking on someone because of one reason or another.
Yeah, like the Salem witch trial stuff is like fun as it is about like the whole like witch thing now, like nowadays and such. None of those women or girls were witches.
No,
They
of
were
course
all
not.
they were all just just called out because but they were all just called out by people that didn't like them in town.
Yep.
So, or they needed somebody else did something wrong and they needed a scapegoat. It's like, well, she's clearly a witch. She did this thing.
Meanwhile, all she did was like reject him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, all right, oh, like, yeah, just it's a bunch of like nonsense. It's just like unfortunate nonsense that ends up escalating to deadly means. That's the true horror, actually, of witch horror of witch legends. Is like, well, the witch isn't the problem; it's society.
Absolutely.
But I digress. That's what I've got for like game fodder and story fodder. So, Mikey, these stands for evil.
Right. Well, clearly, the evil thing in this scenario is the witch's hut. Because, well, basically, dimensional portal. Why people and things go missing.
Oh yeah, there's that whole thing of the cattle going missing when they stray too close.
Yeah. And then because it's going to another dimension, the grass could be poisoned by an otherworldly entity, which is why cattle get sick if they eat it.
Yeah. Also, you're a fan? You played Warcraft, right? Or like World of Warcraft?
Nope.
Okay, gamer, you've played it.
Yes.
You might get this. So this is a little bit of a callback, but like, so how the orcs got into Azeroth in World of Warcraft is that they came through a giant portal that they created. Like somebody on this end on Azeroth's end constructed their portal, and then the orcs created the portal on their home dimension or their home reality, and then the portal was established. And it was a stable portal, and that's actually a reason why there is suddenly a marsh or like why there is suddenly this like barren rocky landscape around the portal on Azeroth's side where there was once a lush marsh. It was because the environment from the other dimension was kind of bleeding through the other reality.
That's kind of cool.
So in a similar vein for what the idea I think you have here is like, yeah, what if this portal magic that's like allowing for like the travel or the creation of this witch hut having its own like witch dimension or something that's not super hospitable or just like kind of alien to our own environment. And so some of the grasses or some of the environment from that other reality is bleeding just beyond the threshold of the portal like door from the witch hut and just kind of contaminating the property around the witch hut. Thus again giving what you were having where like that's why the animals are getting sick is that they're eating plant life and vegetation that is not native to our reality and so is actually dangerous to them.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that idea. I like the idea of if we're going with like the whole like of like a like witch magic and stuff, having it like, yeah, what if her hut has like a witch a portal to like to some other reality.
Yes. And then the other thing that came to mind, which is mainly because of the whole.
God damn.
Sorry. The other thing that came to mind, witches, is what I heard.
Witches.
Period.
It's just Mikey, like the aliens guy, is just like witches.
Yeah, exactly that. Sorry, please continue.
Yeah, so we get this really long blog And while I was reading it, all I could visualize was a guy at a bulletin board with sticking all the pieces of newspaper and drawing lines to the other pieces. It's like, well, this person's this, and like it's a whole web of whatever to try to come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
So if you incorporate that into a game where you have someone who is very adamant that the person exists and is a witch or something and is just giving you facts
Oh my
that they
god.
know and tying it all together, and then it turns out that it's actually just a regular person.
Oh, so you're
Oh.
gamifying like all the census collection data?
I kind
Yeah.
of love that because there's a game system called Knights Black Agents, which is usually like the pitch for it is like wet workers and government agents like Jason Bourne against vampires. But in that game, there is a mechanic called the vampire conspiramid, which is literally just this giant you can create a giant conspiracy pyramid with the vampire at the top, or in this case, it would be a witch at the top, and then just have all these branching like tangents of like all the different things. But I kind of like the idea of like, because in that deep dive on the blog, there's like this one dude apparently from Stanley County that like had like something like 30 fucking children across the county.
Yeah.
And you just have him at the top, have the mundane dude at the top of the pyramid,
Absolutely.
and just stick the witch somewhere along the line, and just have your players like try and figure out, and maybe they'll miss the witch and go all the way to the top. It's like wait, this just links to some dude. Or it's like there was no witch. It was just people being stupid and sucky. Again, like one of those game scenarios that like one of those dream game scenarios that that horror creators have, where it's just like, I just want to run a Delta Green game where there's no Cthulhu.
No.
Like it's like it turns out like everything's coincidental. There's no big bad or supernatural threat. It was just a mundane misconception.
That is awesome.
People are the real monsters. or just have like, after you burn down half the town thinking that you were hunting down a witch, you realize I'm the real monster. Again, see my comment about players being the real monsters in the story.
And then in their next game, they play as the people coming in to stop their previous characters.
Or that's when you run the game about the surviving townsfolk getting revenge on the player on the previous
Yeah.
player. I do also like that idea. I've heard that before in other like talks about like games and tabletop stuff, where like the person wants to run a Cthulhu game where you're actually just the townsfolk trying to deal with these meddlesome investigators who are just like burning down your town, trying to solve some mystery. And like you're kind of aware of the mystery, but like it's not that bad. But these investigators are just like fucking everything up,
Mhm.
like for your town. And so like, yeah, like these fucking disrespectful, like brash, blow the door down first, ask questions later investigators. Like you're just trying to live.
Yeah. I just run a bakery here, dude.
Yeah. It's like, Sam, get your wood axe. We're going hunting for investigators.
I mean, I run a bakery here, dude. I got a rolling pin. That'll do.
It'll have to do. I run a bakery. I've got this rolling pin. I've also got a shotgun under the counter in case of burglars.
Bring the rolling pin. They'll never see it coming.
Then there's Petey, the coach of the local baseball, like junior baseball team. It's like, I got a bat.
I thought you were gonna say he has a hockey stick.
Why?
I love these characters already.
All right, new game scenario. I'll start running it. Oh no,
Nice.
we killed Mikey.
A little bit.
Don't worry, Mikey. I'll make sure you're in this game. We'll run it online sometime. Oh my god, I kind of wanted to do this legit. Just Oh, and I'll tie it to a whole witch thing too. Like guys, or like these people, these witch hunters come into town. It's like, no, what are you doing? Like old lady Lynn's like, she just wants to like be by herself. Like we just don't bother her. Stop fucking us over. Like
Yeah,
if you
really.
piss her off, or if you screw with her, she's gonna start taking it out on the rest of us. Fuck you.
Yeah, and she's important because she is like one of the higher ups in the town or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or she like, or everybody like kind of like had like, yeah, she lives up in the hills, and like if a cow strays on her property, like it's never seen again, or like people are like stones are tossed at people, and like strangely, seemingly from nowhere. So it's like she has like a natural defense on her property, but she's really good for the local environment and like the agriculture, because she is actually like a naturalist witch who's like keeping the land like fertile and growing. So the townsfolk actually appreciate, like secretly they appreciate her being there, but like outwardly they're kind of like, oh, that's old witch Lynn's cabin, stay away from there. Like they still kind of talk smack about her, but like from a distance. And
Yeah.
they secretly do appreciate her being there. But then like some witch hunters come into town and they're just like, oh, we're gonna save your town from that evil witch. I was like, wait, what? No. Like shit, we gotta do like town meeting. It's like, all right, we gotta get rid of these fucking guys. Like we gotta kill them and then like bury them in.
We need a witch hunt for the witch hunters.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. That'll be the scenario's name. Like witch hunters, witch hunters, or witch hunters, witch hunted.
Ooh.
Or witch hunted witch hunters. I don't know. But yeah, and then it's like, oh, we kill them, we bury, we tie them to stones, and we sink them into Bird Lake,
Mhm.
and we never speak
Absolutely.
of it again.
It turns out through all of this, like the investigators actually found evidence that the witch lady is literally actually a witch. She's not just a random lady.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like, wait, you had magic this whole time? We just thought we were just being like, we were just being 18th century bigots.
Yeah, really.
We didn't think you actually had powers.
Damn. Everyone kill the witch. Let's go.
Yeah, and then it just goes, yeah, that's where it devolves.
That's how it ends. The entire town just turns on her all of a sudden.
God.
It's like a comedy right there.
Yeah. It's a horror comedy.
It really is.
But I think Mike that was your bit, right?
Yeah. That's all I had.
Okay. Thank you for allowing that.
Yeah.
Well, gamer, what's your ideas for stories or games?
Yeah, I got a few. The first were like you could basically use it as a red herring, where like someone who people talk shit on, making her seem like she's the villain. Meanwhile, she's just a victim, which is probably what happened in real life, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Like realistically, it could have been a situation where like there's some ravenous bear or something or a pack of wolves that are always around her place. So like when people go to visit her, they just disappear and they blame it on her. Meanwhile, it's just the wildlife. Or the plot's on some like poisonous foundation that's like making people sick when they get near, but it's not in the house, so she's fine.
Yeah.
Or like unrealistically, the house could be haunted and the killings and sickness could be from a vengeful spirit, not from her. But again, she gets blamed because it's at her house.
Yeah, true.
And then with a spin on to view her actually as a monster, it could be done a number of ways too. Realistically, as a murderer, obviously, using like poisonous plants along her walkway or whatever to like incapacitate people who show up, and using Bird Lake to dispose of the bodies, as the story and we have mentioned. Unrealistically, could be possessed by a demon or some kind. And in that. Go ahead.
To add like a little bit more like witch lore authenticity to it, there is I don't happen to know this because of like I've done research into this, like into magic or anything. This is actually from like the movie The Witch, But I do know that apparently baby fat is a material component for flight for witches
Oh,
in some legends.
I see.
Hence why
baby
the
murders.
babies were screaming, and then their screams or their cries were cut short.
I hate that.
Yeah,
Absolutely hate that.
and I'm not sure how obviously not historical, but like how much if that's actual like witch lore, if that's just from like some movies that are about like witch folklore. But
Yeah, just trying to make them seem like way, way worse.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. But yeah, with the view of her as a monster, you could like make it like a super tragic kind of monster too, kind of like Lisa Trevor from Resident Evil. Are you aware of that?
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. The basically like the large mutated woman, but like she's actually just like another experiment gone wrong within the building or within the house.
I mean, it's worse than that, but yeah. For those
Yeah,
that aren't aware, she was basically captured as a child along with her mother, injected with a weird strain of a zombie virus. The mother didn't take well to it. She was killed while Lisa got super strength from it.
yeah,
And the researchers at the site like pretended to be her mother to calm her. But when she realized she was being lied to, she tore the imposter's face off,
and it's
claiming
where
that they stole her mother's face and wanted to give it back to her real mother.
and that's why she has it on her face. Like she's like have sewed it, like she's like sort of sewed a like kind of a facade over her own body or her own face.
I don't know if it's sewed to or if it's like a mask.
No,
I don't know.
yeah, no, not sewed to her, but like it's sewed up like a mask. Yeah,
Yeah. And like she's experimented on for like 30 fucking years.
yeah. But she's like she's stunted because she was like raised in this. She was like constantly like experimented on and raised like with this like weird pseudo false front sort of aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very
fucked
tragic. Yeah, it's the Resident Evil, so it's gonna be fucked up.
Yeah. But most of Resident Evil is just like, hey, we got a virus, let's inject it into random people and there you go. But there's like an actual like legit backstory to that one that hits pretty hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the witch's instance of it, it could be like someone who has like shunned her whole life for one reason or another, and then over the years, just all that hate towards her basically turns her into what the people claim that she is.
Yeah. That's actually kind of like spoilers, I guess, a little bit for Paranorman. That's kind of why what's the how the origin of the witch's ghost in Paranorman is about.
Mm-hmm.
Is that she was she was a girl that was picked on and like for being different. And then the village like there like something happened in the village and like now and then like when she comes back in the modern day as this vengeful spirit, it's like all just kind of like just this anger built up from how she was treated when she was alive.
Yeah. In the instance I brought up where like she's still alive and just like all these things that they're saying about her are things that like are actually starting to really happen because of all the like negativity towards her. Is that like a form of belief magic actually? Where there's
It
like
could
enough
be.
people in the town
Yeah.
that believe she can do these things so she can actually do them now all of a sudden?
That could definitely be something to be explored. Yeah, like if we're adding like supernatural elements to it, like I think that would definitely be sort of a nice like way of playing off of like playing in a fictional space about like the idea of how rumors can change somebody and how rumors can ruin somebody. Like that would be definitely be an interesting like kind of like narrative device of like having it be belief magic that like mutates the person into the very thing that people outwardly think of her.
Yeah.
It's sort of like how like not in real life, like not not being like turned by belief, but like in real life, like somebody starts at like somebody who's been like rumors have spread about this person, like them being like this like nasty person, and they're like, well, fuck it. If people already think that, oh fuck it, I guess I am that.
Yeah.
Like just becoming what people people are already think about them.
Mm-hmm. Which is unfortunate, but
Yeah,
it happens. But yeah, that's about all I got.
okay. Well then, I suppose we get to brass tacks and dive into the stock predictions. If there's nothing
All
else,
these
more to
terms that I'm not aware of because I been on a Monster
You have been.
Specific episode?
You technically have been on one.
Okay.
The Gashadokuro one, the giant skeleton in Japan. That was technically a Monster Stocks.
That's true.
So I would probably partially recommend The Witch of Big Lick. At the very least, I would give it a 5 out of 10 in terms of like viability for like a monster to be like used in creepypastas or in horror stories. There's not a lot out there about this legend aside from the 2 blogs that we kind of pulled from that we were originally linked to. And like I said, like I think I was able to find some stuff about the legend, but like not really in depth, just like mention of the legend and like from some Facebook pages that were like local to Stanley County, North Carolina.
Mhm.
Maybe there's so it's like a very local word of mouth kind of legend, which again I think those kind of legends are fun, and even personal to those in the area because like yeah, like even if like again given like the fact that this is a witch legend, so generally like there's some kind of grounding in truth in the fact that like this was probably a legend based off of some tragic event. It's still like something that is in your in that town or in that county's like um
Is
culture.
zeitgeist the word?
No, I was gonna say I wasn't gonna say zeitgeist, but like in its culture. But yeah, I guess zeitgeist would also work. It's like it's
To be honest, I've
it's
heard
in
that
their,
word multiple times. I don't know what it means.
yeah, it's in their living memory. This legend, so it is a part of the county, and a part of its history, and you don't want to like necessarily get rid of it. You also, I hope like if there are like festivals or like some kind of like tourist thing about this witch's legend, I hope there is some acknowledgement of the fact that like it is one of those witch legends that likely was about maybe about a real person.
Mm-hmm.
So, the actual legend feels pretty common for witch legends, like I was saying, and even with all the background info from the one blog that like did a lot of research, it also seems that it has the underlying story of a person victimized by a community and for not acting right or what was socially tolerated.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it offers some aspects to be explored in a horror story and even draw on as inspiration for game scenarios, as we've kind of brought up here already. But there's nothing that really separates it from other witch ghost stories I've read or heard about in the Americas.
I'll give
They
you
all
one thing it separates it.
What was that?
All the factual evidence that this is a real person.
Well,
Like,
there is that, but like
as much as we like
yeah.
kind of complain about it, it
Yeah.
makes it feel a lot more real because like it, at least for me, it brought me into the headscape of someone of that time, hearing about someone that actually lives in that town that they're actually talking shit on.
That's true, and that part of this, like the fact that somebody did do that is actually like did that a really good service, I think, for the legend, because it does like if you go through and read that entire thing, you get this lived history of this person that may have existed or not. Like it like the story, I think, like the blog even says, like like Lynn Bird as a witch did not exist, but did. Like, because the legend didn't like the legend is kind of there's some truth to the legend, but it's like some of the facts are a little iffy, or some of the details of the legend are a little iffy compared to like the facts that were found.
Yeah.
So
And it's hard because like they change their names so much, it seems, whenever they're putting in like actual information down.
yeah, well, because like families change, and then like or like marriages like often change as well and such.
Like, for example, in my like family tree that I've written down, the worst offender was the daughter of Hess and Enoch, whose first name could be IVR, Iva, Ava, Ida, or Emma, and their last name could be Morton, Anderson, Cobble, or Bird.
Yeah.
Like, how are you supposed to follow that through
Well, and that's
history?
well, a lot of that is because like as much documentation that Jobs Children was able to find, I'm sure like that was like really like basically like that was doing some like serious like archaeological genealogical digging.
Yeah, for sure.
So like Yeah. But like personally for me, like again, and I don't mean to sound like I don't mean to sound not cynical. I guess I don't mean to sound cynical here, but like in terms of like using this story for inspiration, it like for like a horror story or for a game scenario, I could honestly like put this anywhere along the eastern seaboard of America. Because that's just how similar these witch stories often are. And I'm not saying that in a way that's like, oh, this story, like, yeah, like it's a dime a dozen. But unfortunately, historically, like these kind of things are sort of very similar across multiple locations.
Which makes sense because they're all based on the same facts that happened back then.
Yeah, or the
They all have
the same
start.
kinds of yeah.
They have the same jumping off point at the very start.
Yeah, and well, not in like the same jumping off point in that like it's always the same. Like, they follow the same patterns. These tragic like these sort of tragic figures, these witches.
Yeah,
Is that they are often like ostracized by their community, and that was going around a lot back then.
Mm.
So that's why a lot of these legends do have like very similar like through lines in that, oh, it's some evil witch out in the woods, like watch out for her kids, when really it's just a town that's kind of probably just isolating a person they don't like or they don't trust. So yeah, so that's why I'm kind of putting my speculation on the not validity, what the hell's the word? I just had it earlier. The viability of this for a horror story about like kind of like down the middle is because it's just I like the idea of exploring witch folklore and horror in horror, because you can tap into that aspect of like how the witch is treated, like where the kernels of truth in society are for like that kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have fun with the witch aspect of it as well, but you also have to understand like it's just fucking terrible and twisted like real world horror that's also there. But that's why you write a horror story with it, and as long as you like kind of use that as like a catharsis for like this historical trauma. Yeah. So that's my prediction, is like kind of a down the road like middle ground viability, because for this story specifically, for this legend specifically, because it's just one more it's one more drop in the pond of witch legends. Personally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So Mikey.
Yeah, well, as stated, if you're going to use this for a gaming, or in some cases like a story or something, really all you need is the first story that we read.
The initial legend.
Yeah, because going into the genealogy of whether the person was alive or did exist, like when you're writing something, it doesn't really matter unless you're trying to be historically accurate.
Yeah.
Then it kind of matters, and you could make a sitcom based on the amount of characters we get in the blog post.
Sitcom or sitdram, I think, even. Like have it be it could be like a more serious, just like it's comedic in just how absurd how Game of Thrones it almost feels.
Is a sit drama actually a thing?
I feel like it should be. I feel like it is.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's the first time I've heard it.
A sitdram. I'm gonna see if that's actually a thing. A blend of sitcom and drama, or a dramatic sitcom. I don't know what kind.
Did you just coin a phrase?
No, it's definitely a thing. Like I'm finding like people, like other people have that as a word. I'm trying to find like examples of. Or comedy drama blends humor of a situational comedy with emotional depth, character development, and serious themes of drama. I'm not getting any examples though.
Interesting.
Interesting, but yeah, like I feel like those kind of things exist. But yeah, anyway, going back
Let's
to your
just say
things here.
Seinfeld is one, and we can move on.
Yeah, no, okay, fine.
Hey man, when Babu Bhatt got sent back to Pakistan because of what happened, that was pretty dramatic.
So Mikey, you're continuing on your
The soup Nazi
thing.
lost his kitchen. Like,
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. So anyway, so the legend has things that can easily be thrown into a game, like you find an abandoned cabin, and while you're in there, your characters hear what sounds like an infant crying.
Oh yeah.
But they can't find the source.
I didn't even think about that. Like that would actually be that would be a really good thing of like it's and it would play on, so have it be that like the cabin, like the property of this witch from like this historical witch, it just got forgotten by the rest of the town or something. So it's just like it's now just somewhere in the woods and it's overgrown. And so it's a haunted house that's been reclaimed by the wilderness.
Hmm.
I actually really like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as stated before, you can have a portal or whatever that would lead you to an alternate dimension. Maybe that's where the infant is.
Yeah, true.
Like
it's
it's just
are being taken.
Yeah, it just reality slightly on a shift. So it's only an infant screams can get through it.
Only phantom sounds can be heard like through. It's in the upside down. It's like to stick with something similar, like familiar, like or more recent. It's a passageway to the upside down, or a place like the upside down, where it's just this weird, like just spooky duplication of the local environment.
Yeah, and like people and creatures go missing when they go near it. So I mean, that's an easy quest hook for a game.
Oh yeah,
so and so went missing.
Yeah, local hikers or what have you. Like you might be one of the people that are like from town looking for like some missing person.
Yeah,
and then you find the cabin.
Yeah. So for me, gamifying this seems pretty simple with the basic legend. So I'm gonna up its stock when it comes to that. But as far as witches go, like nothing has to be tied to a witch.
Yeah, like what you're bringing up, honestly, just kind of almost like is like our take on a Gardenell, which is another Appalachian folklore entity that's actually in this stretch, probably in this neck of the states, like in North Carolina, I think is probably where a Gardenell could be found, which are again an old cabin-like building in the woods, like covered in kudzu or like overgrowth. And then you go usually like people would go into it seeking shelter because like the rain or whatever, and then they get inside and are either eaten or they discover that it's not actually a cabin; it's something more supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Venus human trap.
Yeah, and like,
or a house.
I feel if there is a witch that you use in your story or game, it would be hilarious to mundanify it, and they're not actually a witch.
Yeah. Hilarious or traumatic?
Yes.
Two sides of the same. Yeah, two sides of the same coin. Humor and tragedy.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say about this.
Okay.
So as another potential name for that Venus human trap of a house,
Yeah.
Would a household also be a good name for that?
Oh, a household. I like that.
Because a
I would
hold is
also
another word for like a prison, right?
Yeah, I was also thinking like we could just call it a witch house. Like it's just like they because like a lot of people like a lot of like weird back in the day like a lot of things were just called witch something because it was a spooky thing
Yeah.
like witch stones or witch cross and what have you.
Also
But yeah,
that.
I do like but household is like that's mwah,
I like the
chef's
punniness of
kiss.
it.
Yeah, like that is. I might have to use that as a name for a house mimic, basically,
Nice.
or a house mimic that also has like a portal to some other space inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. I like it. All right. Well, so what have you bumped? Like how have you bumped up your rating out of 10 if you were to give it like out of 10?
Well, if we're using the stock system, I bump your 5 up 2 points, so up to 7.
Okay, so 7. Okay. All right. Gamer.
For me, as I said before, it's kind of fucked up thinking about basing a creature on someone who actually existed. But I'm sure it's been done before. And it's so long ago that it's not exactly easy for like to even find out much information on that person. But still, the story hit a lot of different. What the hell? I wrote down. But still, the story hit a lot of different other stories we talk about because. What the hell did I write down there?
The story. Sorry, the story you said that, like, the story has a lot of things like other stories we've talked about. I was like, what? What is he talking
What
about?
am I even talking about? I don't know. Regardless, it was a relatively fun read, but as you said, it is sort of a hey, this is a witch story, which is what it is. Because like in the area, this is basically a campfire story.
Yeah.
And that's probably part of the reason why it's not really on the internet too much because it's just a local campfire story that people talk about and have mentioned throughout the years. Does it do anything super like different than other ones? Maybe, maybe not. But as I mentioned before, I liked how much you can get immersed in it by like all the ancestry stuff. While originally I didn't like reading through that, I appreciate it more after the fact. And I wish I just sat down and read the whole thing start to finish like I should have. But the creature herself, I'm kind of on the same vein as you call this, where yeah, it's a witch. It's like the standard sort of operating procedure of a witch story, you know. So I can't like rate it any lower than you did.
Like I will give
yeah.
it this, like in terms of the originality of this like witch legend, kind of really just stems from its name, the Witch of Big Lick. Like having a name of a town, of a very peculiar name for a town that it resides in, is kind of like part of the charm of this one specifically.
Mm-hmm.
From a surface level point of view, like just of like face value, like wow, that's funny. The town's called Big Lick. Oh, and there's a witch ghost. There's like a a witch's ghost legend in it. Cool, but
yeah, it gives it a little bit better search clarity when you're looking for it. Not that you can really find stuff on it in the first place.
What is that? There's like a term for like Google search algorithm thing. It's
I know. I used to know it. Like, it might be search clarity. I don't know, but there was a specific term. I wish I still knew it. Which is basically how easy it is for you to Google it. And it's not going to come up with other random results instead of what you actually want. But regardless, the story was all right. If I was using my normal scale, I would say it's partial recommendation. But using a out of 10 scale, I don't know. I'm with you on a 5. It was
okay.
all right.
So you're dropping it down another 2 points from Mikey's 7. Remember, we have a stock system. We're in flux based on our three opinions. Also, you're looking for search analytics or search visibility is the other one.
Yeah, visibility might be it.
Or
Analytics.
SEO clarity.
That might. Regardless, that's not my final thoughts.
Yeah, I know.
No, honestly, like I can't just give it a flat 5 because it does do stuff that other ones don't do. Because like a bog standard witch story is there's a spooky witch in the woods and she does this and that and the other, and this, that, and the other could be the same things that happen in this, but the difference in this is I know her whole fucking family history.
Well, we know that's the other thing you got to kind of take. There's no true certainty in this,
No.
but like this is there's a very good chance that like the information we found from the one blog that did like the big dissertation on this ancestry.org style family tree gives us probably the best look at at the possible real world version of this person.
Yeah. And like for all I know, like even if this is just an illusion of like factual evidence to bring up the immersion, it still does it. It still increases the immersion, and I appreciate it for that. So honestly, I'm up there with Mikey's 7, might bump it up to an 8. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because of the immersion factor, because you can get into it a lot better.
All right, fair. So I guess when all the tallies are in, I guess we're looking at about an 8 out of 10 on the stock predictions for the Witch of Big Lick.
Kind of weird. This like rating system's strange because like I could have said 1 and then okay, it's a 1. Well, like everyone else's opinion.
Well, no, like
shit.
No, it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
You would have crashed the monster stock market if you'd said that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I always go third too, so I always have that power on monster stocks.
Oh my god. You are the alpha and omega.
Hell yeah.
Stock. You are the wolf of you are the wolf of Wall Street. The wolf man of Wall Street.
I'm the gamer of Wall Street.
Yes. But anyway, yeah. No, I guess like about probably because so like I gave it a 5. Mikey gave it a 7. You're giving it a 7 or an 8. So really, it should actually kind of go about 6 or 6.5.
Honestly, yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, 6.5. Basically, meet in the middle there. So like that. So the stocks kind of land there.
Because realistically, if we're viewing this as if it was an actual stock that you're investing in, it's probably not going to go up. It's a very niche thing, and it's good at what it does, but I don't see this blowing up.
Yeah, no, this is a very it is a very niche, small legend. There's not a lot of information on it online.
It's a small, stable stock.
Yeah. But yeah, with the research that was done in it or into it, like to see like where fact meets fiction. And with like the ideas that we've kind of come up with for I guess the viability of like making it a creepypasta or making it a horror game scenario kind of like fodder, it's definitely like it's worth looking into at the very least. So yeah, like you said, a stable 6. So yeah, so that was this week's episode of Monster Stocks with the Witch of Big Lick. Thanks again to our listener Dawn, who suggested we tackle a local legend from their neck of the woods. And I guess that'll do it for this week's episode. So if you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below. Wherever this gets posted, we're all on Blue Sky, but we're not. Gamer.
I don't care.
It's fine. Okay. I don't actually care. Some of us are in Blue Sky. Mikey is at the East Ends for Evil, and I'm at Review Cultist. You can also send us emails at aldentirigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com, where you can send us suggestions for other creepypastas, SCPs, spooky things. You creep it, we'll peep it. Yeah. Honestly, if there are other people out there that are interested in if you have information, if you have a local legend or like a local urban legend or creepypasta from your neck of the woods, and hopefully there's some stuff online about it for us to look into.
Even if there not just write it down and send it to us.
Yeah, give us some information. Like we'll look into it, and maybe we'll do another Monster Stocks episode. So yeah. And if you'd like to help support our show financially, you can go to Patreon, select the backer tier you'd like to support us at. We have early access, extra content, and yeah, we have special episodes. We have special episodes, early access, and extra content. To all our patrons helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay, and as always, we very much appreciate that. And to our and to the tourist board of Stanley County and Oakboro.
Yeah.
No, and to our listener Dawn for recommending the story. Thank you. Yeah, this one's a tricky one. For all of those out there who keep local urban legends alive, whether it be creating a blog, like doing research on a local legend and posting it on a blog, or setting up little, or like creating creepypastas or writing the stories down and posting them online for other people to enjoy and look into. Thank you immensely, because without your listenership, it would be like screaming into the void. And without your distribution of spooky things, we really wouldn't have much of a show, because we'd have nothing to talk about. So thank you. Now's a good time to bring up that we have now's a good time to bring.
It's just the intro and the outro is the problem.
Yeah. Now's a good time to mention that we are a part of a podcast network, Crit in the Night, an actual play and creepypasta podcast network. We're there alongside our sister podcast, One Less Die, which is where we usually run our tabletop games that are based on some of the ideas that we have here. And our cousin podcast, The Role Playing Exchange, for things that go crit in the night. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the East End Streevel.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
Oh, you're the gamer of Wall Street.
Yeah, that's what I
am. And this has been Al Dente Rigor Mortis for Monster Stocks. Sleep well. To be a skeletal being with wiggered. Wow.
Did you write down wiggered?
No. I'm too excited.
Is it withered or weird?
It's withered.
Okay.